Zeroing your equipment and yourself.
Today's video is brought to us by Mantis. The Mantis family of products is integral to ASP staff building handgun and carbine skills and are your most economical and fastest path to improvement in your skills too. Whether you choose the X10, the Laser Academy, the Blackbeard, or use them all in concert, they will help your practice be more effective, efficient, and fun. Go check them out, pick up a unit, and thank them for sponsoring today's video.
Hey guys, Brian Hill with The Complete Combatant. This is Mantis Dry Fire Monday, brought to you by Active Self Protection Extra. I've been on a long road trip, taught a conference, hosted an event, been on the road teaching deliberate coaching. So I haven't had a chance to do this for a while. I want to make sure everything's still sound. Guns are machines that fail. Human beings are machines that fail without recency of practice. So I always make sure I zero my gun when I step out on the range. Now today I also zeroed my carry gun. Both my guns are exactly the same. And remember, these are best practices for a professional that can do it. Everybody says, well, I can't afford to have two of the same guns. And what I say is they don't want two of the same guns. They can have two different guns. It should be very close to what you're doing, but they both need to be zeroed. If you have a different carry than your practice gun, you need to zero it. And I also mean you need to zero yourself. That's a big part of this, is making sure that you understand what you're doing. So today I zeroed my VP9. And I have a carry VP9. They're set up the same way, same optic, same comp. And I also got a new holster from Riley Bowman, which I've been sourcing out and trying to get comfortable with. And I added a magwell on my practice gun, not because it's going to help me with reloads, but now that I've lost quite a bit of weight, my hand has enough space for it now. Before I didn't have enough space for it. So I've changed several things, so I want to make sure everything's still shooting the same spot. I'm going to tell you how I zero the gun. And iron sight shooters, please don't check out. All right, you need to zero your gun too. Difference is you don't have any adjustability, so you'll have to regulate it by hold alone. Use quality ammo to zero with. It's incredibly important. I've used some guns, different guns with different ammos, and I've seen 3 or 4 inch shift in accuracy in it. And that's tremendous, and the armed citizen can't do that. So when I zero, I use American Eagle 124, which I found to shoot exactly like my HST 124. So it makes it easier and a little cheaper for me to do this. What I do is I zero at 3 yards, all right? These black ones are zeros at 3 yards, okay? This was my carry gun, which I had to worry about the zero, and this is my practice gun. You can see the one that's getting a lot of love right there. But everything's within the 1 inch square. I aim at the top of this. If all 3 rounds strike it, I move back to 10 yards, all right? This was the rounds for my practice gun. I had 2 center X-ring hits at 10, so I stopped there. I had 3 on my carry gun, and I had 1 slightly low, so I did do 3, but everything's within the 10 or a 9 ring. Then I moved back to the 25, and I confirm windage right and left. High and low doesn't matter nearly as much. So the same thing happened here. Practice gun, 2 X-ring hits at 25. I know some of you are going to say, you didn't shoot it in front of us, so it doesn't count. You'll have to take my word for it. If you want to impinge my integrity, that's fine. But I'll do this in front of you. It's not a big deal. All right? And then 25 yards with my carry gun, which was also 10 ring hits. So everything's fantastic. I know the gun is well zeroed. I know the optic is. I did make just a slight adjustment on this gun. I brought it 1 to the left. It felt like it was shooting just slightly right to it. I've also had my iron sights fail. I got up the other day to practice, and my iron sight had shifted out of the dovetail, so I had to reset those. And I also did a corresponding target with the suppressor height sights. And it's very important with red dot shooters because we have very tall sights. We got to make sure that we do that. For some of you, you're going to hold here, and for some of you, you're going to hold here, and some of you are going to cover the target and let your circle thing do the work. You need to figure out at what distances, where do you hold the sights to. Now, the real problem in this process is you, okay? 1/8 of an inch of deflection at 3 yards is 1 full inch on the target. All right, so as we move back progressively and we go to 10 yards, an 1/8 of an inch deviation is 3 inches on the target. And we go back to 25 yards, we're almost at 8 inches deviation. So that's a huge difference. You've got to learn to shoot well. You've got to learn to settle down in accuracy mode and really apply the fundamentals. And then this will give you great confidence in your equipment and your everyday carry, so that if you ever have to use your firearm, you know that it's going to be zeroed in. And you also know when you practice, you're going to be zeroed in, and you can trust it. And that level of trust allows the intuitive process to take over and just recognize the pattern and allowing you to shoot at your highest level without concern or worry for the malfunction of your equipment. I would check this regularly. I do it every time I get a chance to shoot live. It's just part of my practice. I spend somewhere between 5 to 10 rounds confirming zero. If everything's good, I simply move on from that practice. If anything's wrong, I figure out how to do it. All right. I had changed the width of the grips on my back of my gun, and I've done this several times, and I always end up right back where I am. I use mediums all the way around, but your mind says, oh, it might be better with this one. It wasn't. It wasn't at all. I was better off with the other one. Now, that could be because I'm more comfortable with it, but I see the difference in tracking the dot. When I go to a narrow grip, it goes to the right. When I go to a wider grip, it goes to the left. And when I use a medium, it's right down the middle. So I'm just going to stick with that. All right, guys, I hope that helps you out. This is important, and it has to be done. And it's not the most stimulating practice in the world, but it is important for your lack of concern and worry so that you can perform at your highest level. All right, guys, make sure you use your Mantis to practice aiming patterns so that you can shoot without moving the gun. It's fantastic for that. And then make sure that you get a balance between dry and live practice so that you confirm what you know to be true. And as always, get out and measure, refine, and perform. I'm Brian Hill with The Complete Combatant. This is Active Self-Protection Extra. Hit the subscribe button and use your Mantis. I appreciate it, guys. Look forward to your comments.